Welcome back into another episode of NA Now. Brandon Hofstra joined here with Associate Head Coach of the St. Cloud Norsemen, John Mitchell. John, thanks for taking some time out of your guys' busy day. I know while we were talking off screen, you guys have a little maybe scrimmage going on up in Minnesota, getting ready for the season to start.
Yeah, Brandon, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you. Indeed, we are. We're here up at Fogarty, or down here in Fogarty from St. Cloud, playing Scott Doerr and his squad with the Odessa Jackalopes down here in Blaine. So we're about an hour from puck drop, but we're excited.
Perfect. We won't keep you too long, but let's kind of just talk about you, this new position that you got. You were with the NA3HL last year, now find yourself in the NAHL. But talk about some of the things you learned as we preach here in the league office, the ladder of development, moving players up, moving coaches up, moving et cetera, onto the next level. But you find yourself as a part of that ladder of development. But talk about what you took away from your time in the NA3HL and how you look to implement it now in the North American Hockey League.
Yeah, of course. It was definitely something. It was bittersweet. The last 3 years in Milwaukee / West Bend, I fell in love with the city and the program and getting that program up and off the ground and running. And now in some really capable hands with the new ownership group and the coaching staff that they have there now. It was hard to walk away from. But at the end of the day, this is, like you said, hit the nail on the head, part of the ladder development. We want to see it out of our players and our coaching staff. And it was an opportunity for me to come up, and work under a coach in Corey Millen, who's obviously, Minnesota royalty, has got a lot of connections and an unbelievable playing pedigree and coaching pedigree as well. And so I couldn't really pass up that opportunity.
Definitely. John, you find yourself now associate head coach of this organization. What are some of the positions that you came in, obviously unfamiliar with the team from last year, but finding some familiar faces from rosters from the year before? But what have you guys looked to kind of fill in during the summertime?
Yeah, so obviously their group had a very deep run into playoffs, and a kudos and a congratulations to that coaching staff and Brock that headed over to Bemidji and his players that they collectively moved on. They did their job, right? And so we have I think 3 to 4 returners. 2 of 3 are actually like only full time. And so we're going young this year, and we're looking, we filled some of those positions and spots with what we think are very young, talented hockey players that's going to accrue sort of a learning curve that we're ready for. But at the same time, we're really excited because we do feel like we have some 05s and 06s that are very, very talented hockey players, but just are going to need to learn how to play at the junior NA pace.
Definitely. Who are some of those returners that you expect to maybe be wearing a letter on their sweater this season and to kind of make a big impact on the squad?
Yeah, so just starting from our back end, Wyatt Wurst, a kid from Edina, has been in the league for about a year and a half. Guys resonate, to him. They gravitate towards him. He's kind of a silent leader. Carter Bradley is a guy that, I've gotten to know fairly well over the course just the last 2 weeks being here in camp. Again, very silent, but does a really great job on the back end, playing some steady, consistent hockey. And then Owen Hendrickson, I believe, is someone we picked up in a trade last year. He's came to us last year, I think, from the Sioux or from a AAA youth organization. I don't necessarily recall. I apologize for that. But he is a player that's made a very big impact on Corey and myself and Mike in the early stages of camp.
Definitely. John, Central Division was a madhouse last season. A lot of teams made that playoff just by a deciding number of points. How do you look to try to get the best out of you guys for a full 60? And let's also not forget the fact that you were a junior hockey player one time. You were a collegiate hockey player as well, and then you played professional. Do you kind of rub off like some of the experiences that you learned onto these guys, how to just give it every night night in and night out?
Yeah, that's again another really good question. It's we're trying to set the stage. We do the best that we can verbally and coaching them and trying to get as many touches on them, whether it's in the film, whether it's with film or on the ice. And again, another reason, coming over here and joining the ranks with Corey was, I heard the depth of this league in particular this division. He talks about Aberdeen and Bismarck, Minot, Austin, all these teams that are loaded with veterans already and were as successful as they were last season. It's going to be a big mountain to climb. But we plan to do that with practice and habits, and competing against each other as hard that we can throughout the week in our practice sessions, so that hopefully that will, translate a little bit over to games. And then we're just going to need a little bit of patience, and a little bit of time to let the guys learn. There's going to be some bumps and bruises. There's going to be some hard series. But that's kind of the idea of junior hockey, is prepping them to understand what it takes to move on to the next level and hopefully earn that Division I scholarship.
Definitely. The NHL showcase, obviously coming up here in just about 7 days, just a quick drive from where you're at right now in Fogarty. It's the greatest show on ice for a reason. How excited are you to be able to showcase your guys at the NAHL level in front of some scouts and some college coaches in the building?
I'm losing sleep. I've been excited since stepping in here. It was, since day one, getting here 2 weeks ago, and stepping in front of some of these athletes that we have in our locker room. I'm thrilled, to work with that caliber of a player, that, players that have that potential to make that step to the Division I. That's from my standpoint, why I'm in the industry.
Right.
There's nothing better than playing Division I college hockey, or college sport of that matter. It's the greatest 4 years of your life. And now this is the first step on the mountain, and then showcasing their talents to scouts it's going to be packed barn. So they can't take a night off. They have to understand that someone's always watching. And this is where it all begins.
Definitely. The Norsemen were very familiar with the building you're in right now, Fogarty Arena, back in 2022 when they were at the Robertson Cup. But what's it going to take to get back into that building and hopefully bring a trophy up I-35?
It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some of our players getting a little bit bigger and stronger, learning the game. Lack there of better words. It's just, I guess, a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of practice, a lot of hours. We know it's not going to be, it might take a little bit more time than we have hoped that we're going to hope for, but we're going to put our best foot forward and make sure we bring it every night and continue to learn and grow as a staff, as an organization, and at the player level as well.
John, all kicks off this weekend, and we'll see you at the showcase in about 7 days. We appreciate you doing this, and good luck this season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.